Hi students, welcome to Clickers Academy. I hope you all are safe in this pandemic situation. So in this video we will continue our lecture series on balancing of unbalanced masses. So in the first lecture we discussed about the need of the balancing and we understood that it is very much required for smooth operation of any machine or system, mechanical system. Today's topic is balancing of unbalanced rotating masses. Last class we talked about two types of balancing of unbalanced masses which we discussed. One is rotating type, another one was reciprocating type. So today we will start with the first one, balancing of unbalanced rotating masses. To understand this, we will take an example and try to decipher all the concept related to it. एक बार आपको concept समझ में आ गया, numerical is not important. वो तो आप कर ही लेंगे आराम से. Don't worry about numerical and all. Just try to catch the fundamental concept behind the unbalanced rotating masses balance. वो आप समझ गए, then only you will appreciate the topic, the concept. चलिए. So to understand it, I have taken a circular disc on a shaft. Just imagine disc is placed at the mid of the shaft, and this shaft is supported at their both ends, at its both ends. As we discussed in first class, the supports are supposed to bear the weight of the system. These supports are supposed to bear the weight of the system. This is what we design support. Support को bear करना है system का weight, and weight acts in one particular direction. So the reaction because of the weight of the system on support will also be in a fixed direction, opposite to the weight direction. And this is what the support should be. They are supposed to design for this. Now just imagine the shaft is rotating with angular velocity omega. Mass of the shaft you can neglect for the discussion, and disc has mass. Yeah. The entire inertia is placed in the disc. Disc is on the shaft and shaft is rotating with angular velocity omega. I clearly said circular disc we have. There was a purpose to set that. The axis of rotation we talked about. This is the axis of rotation about which the disc is undergoing rotation. Perfect. Now, where will be the center of mass of the disc? If the disc is perfect, there is no problem with the disc design. The center of mass of the disc will lie at the center of the disc, and in this case, center of mass of the disc will also lie on the axis of rotation. So center of mass or center of gravity, both are synonyms as long as your gravitational field is not changing. So center of gravity will lie on the axis of rotation, and the concept of center of gravity is that the entire mass of the body you can assume on the center of mass. So if the entire mass of the body is placed at the center of mass, which is what its physical significance is, then the body will not feel any centrifugal force. The body or the disc will not feel any centrifugal force. Why? Because its center of mass lies on the axis of rotation. and centrifugal force is mr omega square. If r is 0, r is the distance of a point from the axis of rotation. If my center of mass lies on the axis of rotation, definitely the disk is not feeling centrifugal force. Or in a different way, or in a correct way I should say, the net centrifugal force on the disk will be 0. That means actually every single point on the disk will feel the centrifugal force away from the axis of rotation. If there is a point on the disk, this will feel the centrifugal force away from the axis of rotation. This will feel centrifugal force, centrifugal, outward from the center of rotation. But in case of rotating disk or symmetric body, definitely there will be a point, mirror image to this point, which will also feel equal but opposite centrifugal force. So this way every point on the body will feel centrifugal force, but there will be a mirror image point to counter that centrifugal force. And I should say the net centrifugal force on the disk will be 0. So two ways are there to say the same thing. First, if the point of mass of the body lies on the axis of rotation, the net centrifugal force on the body will be 0. Or every single point on the body is going to feel the centrifugal force, which is actually true, but there will be an encounter point which will nullify the effect of the centrifugal force. So the net centrifugal force on the body is going to be 0. This will be balanced by this. Here if you take the point, the mirror image will lie here, and those centrifugal forces will nullify each other, and this is how the net centrifugal force on the body is. And as long as the net centrifugal force on the body is 0, there is no problem with the system. The supports will only have reactions because of the load of the system. Now just imagine a situation. This system is unbalanced. कैसे होगा unbalanced? Somehow they will. Till now the discussion is that the centrifugal force of the body lies on the axis of rotation. This axis of rotation में ही lie कर रहा है center of mass or center of gravity of the body. Perfect. Now just imagine because of any reason, if this center of mass or center of gravity shifted from the axis of rotation, shift हो गया axis of rotation because of any reason, then what will happen? And there are possible reasons. बहुत दिनों तक when mechanical system works, there will be erosion and all, and because of that, there are chances the center of mass or center of gravity of the body changes, or during the time of installation of a mechanical system, there may be an error from the installation side that changes the center of mass of the body or the system out of axis of rotation. Any reason, कुछ भी हो सकता है. If it changes, then what will happen? So just imagine now this center of mass shifted. I mean, making it little large, although this much shift will not be there. But just to make it clearly, just imagine this eccentricity of the center of mass from the axis of rotation is E. The center of mass of the body has shifted from the axis of rotation by an eccentricity E because of many reasons it could happen. One or two reasons I have already uttered. Okay. Then, if the system is rotating with angular velocity omega, And now, from the physics of center of mass, if we assume the entire mass of the body is placed at center of mass, the net centrifugal force on the body is not going to be zero. So what will be the net centrifugal force? It will be outward, radially outward, and its magnitude will be mass of the body, axis of rotation distance from the axis of rotation, omega square, m e omega square. And as a result, immediately reactions will come into picture. Immediately. Reactions will come into picture because of this centrifugal force. Because of this centrifugal force. So those reactions are going to be additional reactions apart from the reactions which are coming because of the weight of the system. These reactions which I am going to show will be the additional reactions. So these additional reactions, just imagine, don't worry about the direction and all, these additional reactions on the support, suppose R1 and R2, these reactions on the support because of this centrifugal force are suppose R1 and R2. And you just observe about the centrifugal force. This centrifugal force is going to change its direction continuously along with the rotation of the shaft. The center of mass is going to rotate, and so the centrifugal force also. So although constant in magnitude, but continuously changing its direction. And as a result, the reactions because of this centrifugal force on the support, they are also going to rotate. They are also going to rotate. So constant in magnitude nature, but continuously changing the direction. Dynamic loading comes into picture. What will happen to support? Just imagine a 500 megawatt power plant, turbine generator shaft. A small change in the center of mass of the system and leads to the centrifugal force of magnitude m omega square. आप बोलोगे सर ई तो बड़ा छोटा है, अरे 500 मेगावाट का पावर प्लांट, 2 LP turbine, 1 HP turbine, generator, all are connected in single shaft. Heavy system, mass is very high. Although even a small e, and then omega square, 3000 RPM rotation of the shaft of the turbine, 3000 RPM standard speed in India, and square of that, huge. And so the reactions, and then continuously changing in direction also. क्या होगा system का? कुछ नहीं होगा. Nothing will happen to the system. Right? Nowadays, power plants and turbines and all systems are made very much safe. बहुत सारे automatic controls होते हैं. But yes, you will not be able to run the turbine. No, it will direct. Immediately, this kind of unbalanced system you cannot run at the speed of 3000 RPM. Immediately, it will trip. System will not, the control system will not allow you to run the turbine. All the steam will dump directly to the condenser. Trip of the power plant. क्या होगा? Management आपकी कॉलर पकड़ लेगा. अगर आप इंजीनियर है, फील्ड इंजीनियर हो. 500 megawatt, you understand? 5 crore rupees per day. If the system is tripped for 3-4 days, 20 crore gone. Very important. The question is, what to do? What I'm trying to make you understand the gravity of the situation. Why these things are important to you. Okay, so what happened exactly to you? The center of mass of the system shifted out of axis of rotation. Okay. If you simplify the problem, this equivalent system in a simple way I can represent like shaft and a point mass at a distance e, eccentricity or distance e, with the same mass as system m. This is the simple representation, and this is rotating with angular velocity omega. Simple representation. The entire mass is placed at an eccentric position e from the axis of rotation, feeling an outward centrifugal force m d omega square, rotating continuously, and because of that, dynamic reactions coming to the support, which system is not supposed to, the supports are not supposed to bear. They are supposed to bear the weight of the system only. This is what the simple representation is. So what we need to do? In the introductory class itself, I told you, balancing is nothing but adding or removing inertia to the system judiciously, होशियारी से, समझदारी के साथ, either add some mass to the system or remove some mass from the system to make it balance. Simple. So just imagine if we attach a balancing mass mb at a radial distance rb from the axis of rotation opposite to the unbalanced mass, 180 degree opposite to the unbalanced mass, in the same plane, in such a way that the centrifugal force produced here mb rb omega square, in such a way that these two centrifugal forces will nullify each other. If we add inertia to the system judiciously at a distance rb in such a way that the centrifugal force produced in the balanced mass counter the unbalanced centrifugal force, then what will happen? These unwanted dynamic reactions will immediately eliminate. And this is what the very purpose of balancing is. This is how we can balance the system. But the story doesn't end here. No. Fundamental concept is still there. अब चीजें important हो जाती हैं. यहीं से आपको सावधान होना. Be careful. So what I said, to balance the system, we have added a balancing mass of amount mv at a radial distance rb from the axis of rotation in such a way that these two centrifugal forces will be equal and opposite so that they can nullify each other. The net centrifugal force on the system will be again zero, like the initial situation, and unwanted dynamic reactions will immediately eliminate, and that is what the very purpose is. Perfect. So the condition for balancing in this case will become the me omega square centrifugal force must be equal to mb rb omega square. mb rb omega square we can cancel it out. So the condition becomes m into e is equals to mb rb. Now to solve this, if we know the unbalanced rotating mass, its eccentricity from the axis of rotation, then out of these two, as a design engineer, we will choose one and decide the other one. If we know at what distance we can place the balancing mass, then how much balancing mass we need to place we can calculate. And if the constraint is that no, this much inertia only you have to add, then where I need to add that balancing mass, RB distance, that we can calculate. So this is what the result of what we have discussed in the whole discussion. But as I said, the story not finished yet. कहानी अब शुरू हुई है. It was a trailer, and be very serious now. What exactly we have done by attaching this balancing mass opposite 180 degree opposite to the unbalanced mass, rotating mass, unbalanced rotating mass. What exactly we have done? We are getting this condition, fine, you can solve the numerical, but still you need to understand. आप बोलेंगे sir centrifugal force cancel कर दिया है, perfect, but still something is hidden in this expression. Something कुछ छुपा है यहाँ पे. देखिए बचपन में you know 11th and 12th physics you might have studied how to calculate the center of mass of a point system. थोड़ा रिवाइज कर लेते हैं and then we explain this expression. Suppose if I take an x-axis and y-axis and just imagine I place 4 masses, one at origin, m1, one here, m2 at a distance a, or at a distance x1, better take it a, a1 at a distance a1, another mass here, m3 at a distance a2, and here m4 at a distance a2 only. Don't take it unnecessarily, don't complicate. And if I ask where is the center of mass, so from common sense you can say it will be at the mid of the rectangle. But there was a formula to calculate the center of mass which says the x coordinate of center of mass x cm will be given by summation of all mx divided over summation of m, and y coordinate of the center of mass will be given by summation of all m y coordinate multiplication divided over summation of all m. This is what you have learned. सब लोगों ने पढ़ा. तो इस केस में xcm अगर मुझे निकालना है, if I want to calculate xcm, it will be m1 and its x1 coordinate. It is at origin, so x coordinate will be 0, 0. So m1 multiplied with 0 will be 0. Fine. m2 into its x coordinate is positive a1 with respect to this origin. So it will be m2 a1. Then x coordinate of this plus m3 a1. Then x coordinate of this, again x coordinate of this mass is 0, divide over all the masses m1 plus m2 plus m3 plus m4. And similarly you do for y coordinate of the system. आप इनको solve कर लेंगे, and this is how you do. It will not be exactly at the center because masses are different. अगर मैं सारे masses को same ले लेता हूँ, then situation will be like it will be at the center. The point of masses are different, so in this case exactly it will not be at the center. Center of mass will not be at the center. Okay? So similarly you can do for y coordinate of the center of mass of this system. This is just to revise or brush up your old concepts. अब मैं the same thing I want to look here. बड़ा interesting, अच्छा लगेगा. If you just imagine this point I take as a origin, this as my x-axis and this as my y-axis, and I want to calculate the center of mass of this system. The center of mass of the the system. So both the point masses are on the y-axis. Both the point masses are only on the y-axis. So obviously their xcm will be 0. The x coordinate of the center of mass of this system is going to be 0 because both are on y-axis. Both x coordinate of both the point masses is 0. So xcm will also be 0. That means the xcm, the x coordinate of this system, x coordinate of the center of mass of this system will somewhere lie on the y-axis. But I want the exact location. So where will be my y coordinate of this system if we assume this is my y-axis and this is my x-axis? So ycm in this case will be first mass and its y coordinate. So m and its y coordinate is e, positive e from the origin O with respect to origin O. Then where is my second mass? Mb and its y coordinate Rb but negative. It is below the negative y-axis. So minus Mb and its y coordinate is Rb divide over M plus Mb. The same, just we have seen, same concept. And where we want our center of mass, my center of mass x coordinate will surely lie somewhere here. Where I want my y coordinate for balancing of the system, I want my center of mass should lie on the axis of rotation itself. If my center of mass of the system lies on the axis of rotation of the system after attaching the balancing mass, that means my system is balanced. That means what I want this quantity to be 0. And if you want this quantity to be 0, so that your center of mass will lie on the axis of rotation, what will be the condition? This becomes 0, these multiply will be 0, ME minus MBRB will be 0 or ME equals to MBRB. Arey Baba, ye kya? This is same as this. Now it explains that what exactly you have done by attaching this balancing mass 180 degree opposite to the unbalanced mass is nothing but effectively you again bring the center of mass of the system to the axis of rotation, and this is how your system is balanced. But okay, I hope this explanation is clear. So what we have done exactly by attaching the balancing masses to the system, we again pull back the center of mass which was deviated from the axis of rotation again to the axis of rotation. That means क्या हर एक केस में ऐसा compulsory exactly होगा, but some other situations will also arise. But in every situation you will see that the whole purpose is to bring the center of mass of the system again to the axis of rotation. Entire balancing of rotating masses आप यही करने वाले हैं. कितने मास ले लो, कहीं किसी प्लेन में ले लो, सबका पर्पस यही है. अब now my question is that is it sufficient only to bring the center of mass on the axis of rotation and you are done? No, that's not true. We'll see this and we will analyze. देखिए सिंगल मास सिस्टम समझ गए तो मल्टीपल मास में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Only calculation, that's it. Fundamental concept is same. एक मास अनबैलेंस है, 50 अनबैलेंस है, 1000 अनबैलेंस, doesn't matter. Fundamental concept वही रहने वाला है. अब देखिए same situation, if I take it again, same situation if I take it again, what was the situation? My unbalanced mass M is at a eccentric distance E from the axis of rotation. This is what the situation. So if we argue from the point of view of center of mass कि हमको center of mass we have to bring to the axis of rotation only, then we can add our balancing mass here also, mb at a radial distance rb, and in such a way that the centrifugal force by mb rb omega square and the centrifugal force created by the unbalanced mass me omega square, they are equal. In y-axis, the net force mb rb omega square, the same equation is equals to me omega square. The net vertical force on the system is 0, and obviously the condition will yield to me equals to mb rb. That will ensure the center of mass of the system will surely lie on the axis of rotation, somewhere between these two, on the axis of rotation. But will this is okay? No, this is not okay. This is not okay. And then only you will understand the difference between statically balanced system and dynamically balanced system. What's the difference between a statically balanced system and dynamically balanced system? Take care. If the system is just imagine, if the system is not at all rotating, omega equals to 0, अभी rotate नहीं कर रहा है, system is not at all rotating, unbalanced mass is at a position E from the axis of rotation, eccentricity E from the axis of rotation. You have attached a balancing mass mb at a radial distance rb, and from the concept of center of mass, you definitely ensure that the center of mass will lie here. You will ensure it. The center of mass will lie here. If this condition holds good, if this condition holds good, me is equals to mbrb, then surely ycm is going to be 0, origin somewhere here. If I take the origin here, this is my y-axis, this is my x-axis, surely my y-coordinate, if this condition holds good, that means y-coordinate is 0, we make ycm 0, then only this condition was coming. So without rotating the mass, if you want to ensure ycm should lie, the center of mass should lie on the axis of rotation, you have to satisfy this condition. Perfect, these two you know, one of these you will decide, another you will calculate. So in a static position you can state that my system is perfectly balanced. Why? Because the center of mass lies on the axis of rotation. There is no deviation of center of mass. But once the system starts rotating, come into picture immediately. These two centrifugal forces will come into picture. So surely if this condition holds good in a static situation, the magnitude of these two centrifugal forces are going to be equal. They will nullify each other. But the two equal and opposite forces, the two equal and opposite parallel forces will form the moment. What is the once the moment will come, immediately reactions will come into picture. आप जानते हैं, if you have a shaft and one moment is there, then what kind of reactions will come over the support? You all know, you have a studied instance of material. A constant bending moment is applied, so it will be m by L, and one of it will be minus m by L, one of it will be plus m by L. Direction here doesn't matter. What I'm trying to explain is that although the system, when you are attaching your balancing mass, not in the same plane, but in a different plane, 180 degree opposite, the system was statically balanced. The center of mass was lying on the axis of rotation. But once the motion starts in dynamic position, the system is not balanced. Again, the reactions are coming. The dynamic reactions are coming because the shaft is rotating, and obviously these reactions will also rotate. this system is balanced statically as well as dynamically, but this system is balanced in a static situation when system is not running in a static situation, but dynamically the system is unbalanced. Daya? So what next? What to do? Can we do anything else? है कुछ है बहुत मजेदार इम्पोर्टेंट चीज। तो मैं चाहता हूँ कि मैं इस सिस्टम को मतलब यहीं पे लगा के अपना सिस्टम को बैलेंस करूँ। Somehow I want to balance the system dynamically also। क्या करें? कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा। देखिए, चलो I am removing this portion, unwanted portion। Okay, I'll make it again। I will make it again। Once you are clear with this, comfortable with the entire rotational unbalanced masses, देखिए क्या किया, the same system I'm taking, this was balanced both statically and in dynamic situation. For the system I have shown you, it was balanced in a static situation when the system is not running. But once it comes in a dynamic position, in running condition, system is dynamically unbalanced because it is giving you a moment. You should bring again the reactions on the support, the dynamic reactions on the support. One, the shaft will move, the moment will move, and the reactions will move. So we have to do something. Situation is the unbalanced mass M, centricity E, and in last case you placed balancing mass MB at a distance R. So this system, and in such a way both for ME is equals to MB RB, that situation was satisfying. So statically balanced but dynamically not balanced, as we have seen. Now there is one method to balance this also. Just imagine one more balancing mass I attached 180 degree opposite to the unbalanced mass MB2 at a radius RB2. MB2 at a radius RB2, and this I am saying MB1 at a radius RB1. That means to balance a single unbalanced mass, now I am attaching two balancing masses in two different planes. What is the difference? Here we were attaching a balancing mass in the same plane opposite to the unbalanced mass. Here we are attaching opposite but in a different plane. Suppose this distance is A and this distance is B. So what should be the balancing condition? The centrifugal forces produced here, the centrifugal force produced here on the unbalanced mass must be nullified by these two centrifugal forces. That means the condition becomes ME omega square must be equal and opposite to MB1 RB1 omega square plus MB2 RB2 omega square. Omega square you can cancel out from the other side. The condition becomes ME is equals to MB1 RB1 plus MB2 . And again, if you apply the concept of center of mass on these 3 point masses, and if this condition holds good, again you will see the center of mass lies on the axis of rotation. कहानी बार-बार घूम के नहीं आ रही। Once you are balancing the centrifugal forces, ultimately you are getting a result which indicates that the center of mass has been pulled back again to the axis of rotation. But will it be sufficient? The next condition is there should not be any moment. Okay, plus we have seen an unbalanced moment was coming. So to ensure that there is no unbalanced moment is coming into picture, we need to ensure one more condition. And that condition, very simple. About any point on the system, the net moment should be 0. So just imagine if I take this point and I ensure that net moment about this point is 0, that means everywhere it is 0. So about this point, mb1 mass and its centrifugal force will give me a clockwise moment, and whose value will be mb1 rb1 omega square force multiplied with perpendicular distance. And this should be nullified by the centrifugal force of mb2 mass, mb2 rb2 omega square multiplied with perpendicular distance, b in anti-clockwise sense. So it will be mb2 rb2 omega square into b. Omega square will cancel out. mb1 rb1 into a is equals to mb2 rb2 into b. So if we ensure these two conditions, then in this case system will be statically balanced by this condition, and system will be dynamically balanced as well if this condition is satisfied. So we will design our system based on these two conditions. Now, the last point of the discussion. This figure I have not removed. This figure I have not removed. Which reason? A single unbalanced point mass system with eccentricity E, you can balance by number one method, completely balanced statically as well as dynamically. If you attach a balancing mass 180 degree opposite to the unbalanced mass in a same plane. In a same plane, by attaching single unbalanced mass, you can balance the system. Or attach two balancing masses opposite to the unbalanced mass, but in a two different plane, in such a way these two conditions are satisfied, and then also you can statically as well as dynamically balance the system. That means these two methods are same. Here you are attaching one single mass in the same plane, 180 degree opposite to the unbalanced mass. Here you are attaching two balanced masses, 180 degree opposite to the unbalanced mass, but in a different plane. And both the systems are statically as well as dynamically balanced. Because here, statically balanced, obviously center of mass lies on the axis of rotation, statically balanced. And when the system will rotate also, these centrifugal forces are just equal and opposite. So they are not going to give you any moment. System is dynamically balanced. Here also system is dynamically balanced because we are ensuring that net moment about any point on the system must be 0 by ensuring this condition. Any point, this point, any point you choose, and you will get the second condition. Then one question here: which method is better? आप किसको choose करेंगे? Both are making the system, ensuring the system statically as well as dynamically balanced. तो कुछ लोग बोलोगे यार दो मास लगाने कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है, वही वाला बढ़िया है, ऐसा थोड़ी आंसर होता है साइंस में. They are the student of science. You have to answer with logics. जवाब आपको लॉजिकली देना. ये नहीं कहना अरे दो मास है, कहाँ दो लगाएंगे, एक ये बढ़िया तो है. No. This is not the right answer. This is not the right approach. Answer should be logical. देखिए. Just imagine a shaft. Two reactions, not exactly reactions. Just imagine two forces and one force here. One loading here and two loading here. what will happen to this portion, this is span of the shaft? Although net moment is 0, the bending moment in this section is not 0. Bending moment, we can make a strength of material, you might have heard, you might have studied. The bending moment in this case is not going to be 0. Directions doesn't matter. Bending moment. Continuously, this span will be subjected to bending moment. Net moment is 0. Net moment is 0. So you will feel that the system is balanced, but internally system has problem. Internally system has problem. Outside, from outside you are watching and you are saying, what's the problem? Your center of mass lies on the axis of rotation. Net moment about any point on the system is 0. What's the problem with you, brother? Brother, kaisi taisi ho rakhi hai internally. Internally, this span is subjected to a bending moment. And that too, rotating. I hope it is clear. This is how you make bending moment diagram. I think exactly Px, something like that, in strength of material we all do. Point load mass on the shaft and bending moment diagram, shear force and bending moment diagram. But here that situation is not there. Here, because of static loading, because of the weight of the system, the reactions will come. Obviously that bending moment will be there. But this additional bending moment which is coming because you are placing two balancing masses at the two different planes, this is additionally not coming in this case. So system is balanced externally. You are watching that okay, net moment is 0, net forces are 0, center of mass lies on the axis of rotation, system is perfectly balanced, and internally also system is happy. Yes, there is no extra bending moment like this. So this system will be called internally as well as externally balanced, and this system will be called externally balanced but internally not balanced. And this is the difference between internally and externally balanced system. So this is what about the today's topic. I hope this video will be very much useful. So we'll meet in our next video soon. Till that time, stay safe, be happy. Thank you.